Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Media. Today, I am joined by TyPlayed, famed 3DS collector, famed Yokai Watch Blasters owner, to discuss 3DS collecting in 2022. I've done a bunch of 3DS videos, a bunch of Wii U videos after this eShop closure announcement, and I figured I don't really have much more to say, so I wanted to do one final push, one final big freeform discussion, everything there is to know about 3DS collecting, tips and tricks, whatever you want to call it. Definitive guide, I think, is what I'm titling this. TyPlayed, how are you doing? How are you feeling with the closure of the eShopper announcement that you won't be able to purchase games, I should say? There's a difference.
I am just devastated. No, but honestly, it is kind of sad. I mean, like, this has been like a thing for like over a decade, and it was definitely a wake-up call that I'm like, wow, I am missing a lot of games in my 3DS collection.
Right. See, that was the nice thing about Wii U. I already had most of the main stuff I wanted in terms of like first-party Nintendo. 3DS, I had almost nothing because during the 3DS era, I was buying games digitally, and then after a certain point, I transitioned to physical. So my 3DS collection was probably like less than 20 games before this, and now it's like, I don't know, 70. I don't know. Me and you have gone off the chain, dude.
Yeah.
A little bit too much.
Yeah,
but
well,
we've been
probably.
Yeah, we both got a lot of cool stuff. I think we both learned a lot more about this collecting 3DS games recently. So we want to talk about this. If you have not, of course, go watch my other videos. But we're going to be diving deeper into as many games as we can. We're going to talk about as many rare or games to look out for, that kind of thing. Starting off, though, I do want to start with just the obvious stuff, being Nintendo, and specifically subcategory Pokemon. We're just going to get the big one out of the way. Pokemon is the one. Pokemon, there are more expensive games on the 3DS than Pokemon games, obviously. Pokemon games always go up in value. And there's a lot of them on 3DS. I think there's more on 3DS than there was on DS, if you count all the spin-offs. Because DS had probably Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Maybe not.
Yeah. It's
definitely more spin-offs.
Well, yeah, definitely more spin-offs, I would think.
But yeah, we had X and Y, of course, which right now we're like, what, 30 to 35, 40? 30 to 40, I guess.
Yeah, probably 35, 40.
Of course, Gen 6 games. Currently, the most expensive mainline Pokemon games on 3DS are Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. These are still, you can get them for 40 if you look in the right spot. Typically closer to 50, though. Then we have Sun and Moon, which are the cheapest right now, which, I mean, you can get these for like 25 if you see the right thing. And then Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which are, once again, around 35 to 40. Out of these, Ty, what do you think are going to end up being the most expensive? Not that, I mean, this is kind of a speculation video, but we're not financial advisors. We're not doing this with the sake of like, oh, you should buy this and then sell it later. We're just having a fun debate and talking about it. So what do you think will end up being the most expensive and rare, hard to find 3DS game? Pokemon 3DS game.
Pokemon, yeah. I think right now, it's really odd to me that Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire is the most expensive one. I mean, they're not bad games. They're not my favorite on the 3DS, but that kind of surprised me. I think what I thought would have been and what I think will be the most expensive one is Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
I think we agree there.
Yeah, it's like, it seems like it's set up to be the perfect, like, Black 2, White 2 repeat.
Exactly.
Like, it's sold poorly. They're great games.
Poorly. It sold like 9 million copies, but for Pokemon, yes, that is.
Yeah, let's preface that. Poorly for Pokemon.
Yeah.
So,
and in general, I think most people, from what I've seen, I don't agree with this. I think Ultra Sun and Moon are better than Sun and Moon. And I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
There's a weird general consensus though that it is significantly worse, and I'm just like, dude, what are you talking about?
Give it at least 2 years.
Yeah, people will come around on Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and then they're gonna be kicking themselves for not buying it.
Yeah.
So yeah, mainline Pokemon. If you like Pokemon, I think it goes without saying, get all the Pokemon games. I have a complete Pokemon 3DS collection, including spin-offs, which we'll get to now. So there's not too many that I think will really go up in price that much outside of just the general Pokemon spike. We have the Rumble game, so there's Rumble Blast, which is like 20 to 25 right now. That one is safe, I think. There is one that I think both you and I got, which is Rumble World. So this was a free-to-play eShop game back in like, what, 2016? Maybe 2015?
Yeah, I think it was like, I think it was 2 years before the Switch.
Yeah. So this was a free-to-play Pokemon Rumble game on the 3DS eShop that a lot of people don't know. They released a physical version of, which I haven't actually played it yet. My copy's sealed, so I'm kind of I don't want to open it really, but I'm pretty sure it just makes it so it's not free to play. It just makes it an actual game. Do you know if you can still spend money in it?
I actually tried looking at that. I looked at the back of the box. There is no mention of like online purchases or like because like games. I think they have to mention that if you can do that. Yeah. I didn't see any mention of that, so I think it actually might be like totally free to.
Free to own it after you pay the $40.
Free of microtransactions.
Yeah. So that's it. Let us know if we're correct on that in the comments. Well, I think we are though. So yeah, that one is like 40 right now. I could see that one going up a decent amount. Although the thing is with Pokemon Rumble, people don't really like it that much to begin with. I personally do, but it's not one of the more popular Pokemon spin-offs. What is more popular, and what I do think will go up in value, is the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. So Gates to Infinity and Super Mystery Dungeon. Gates to Infinity is what, like, I don't know, 25, 30 right now? Kind of similar with Super Mystery Dungeon. Super Mystery Dungeon, I think, is a little bit more. Gates to Infinity, I think people were a little bit more negative about because it was just black and white Pokemon. Was it just black and white Pokemon? I remember there being some controversy.
I know all the advertisement pretty much has black and white Pokemon. I'm not a huge Mystery Dungeon guy, so it's...
Okay.
I'm not too aware of it, but I have noticed that it doesn't look like it has any other black and white Pokemon aside Pikachu.
Yeah, Pikachu, of course. I personally like that one. That's the only Mystery Dungeon game I've actually finished. I like that game a lot. Had a good story. And then the one that I think will go up in value more is Super Mystery Dungeon, which one of its main selling points after Gates to Infinity was that it had every Pokemon up to that point, which I think was before Sun and Moon, so only 6 gens, but still, pretty big selling point there. I think, yeah, probably the most fully featured Mystery Dungeon game. So in terms of Mystery Dungeon, Super Mystery Dungeon's probably the one that will potentially go up in price. And then there are a couple other random 3DS spin-offs for Pokemon. Pokemon Art Academy. This game is really weird. This game's really weird. I don't really know what's going on. It fluctuates so much. I got it for like, I think $30. I've seen it go as high as $100.
Yep.
And they sell for that much. So I don't know.
Yep.
It's just whoever, I don't know. People don't seem to know like an exact value to give this game. So if you see it for, I would say under 40, get it?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
And then, am I missing another one? Oh, Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu.
Yeah. You talked about this in your video, so I'll let you take this one.
I don't know. Like, Detective Pikachu feels like, I mean, this is obviously like the safest guess you possibly can give something, but I genuinely mean it that I do think it'll be a 50-50, whether it'll be like worth like $30 to $40 in a few years or like down the road forever, or if it'll be one of the most expensive Pokemon spin-offs, because they said they're working on a sequel. A lot of times when a sequel for something gets announced, whatever before it, if it's like on a different console and it's not available, it goes up. They haven't said any plan to port Detective Pikachu 1. I dug around for that.
It was weird.
Nothing.
I remember people saying like, oh, they're going to port it and do the sequel. Because didn't they just say Detective Pikachu for Switch? It was weird.
I was trying to figure that out after my video. All I could find is that it was announced as Detective Pikachu 2 was in the works.
Interesting. Like, and that was like 3 years ago. So
after the presentation, they clarified on Twitter it was Detective Pikachu 2, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been in the work for pretty much almost the Switch. I feel like the Switch's whole life.
It was announced in 2019 with Pokemon Sleep.
Yeah. They did. Well, they did. To be fair, they did recently just say that they're still working on it. Yeah. Whatever that could mean.
Yeah. So I lean towards the idea that they probably. I think the first game will come to Switch in whatever that package ends up being. Personally, that could end up not happening. So it really depends on if it comes to Switch or not. If it comes to Switch, I think this could end up being the cheapest Pokemon game on the 3DS.
Right.
If it doesn't come to Switch, it could easily be 60, 70 plus. So
yeah.
Is there any other Pokemon spin-offs I did not mention, Ty?
I mean, I know we're talking a lot about physical, but I mean, there's a couple like free games on the eShop. One thing I don't think a lot of people are aware of is Pokemon Bank is going to be free after the eShop closes, which is nice.
I am scared of that though, because so here's the thing with Pokemon Bank. Obviously, for those that don't know, Pokemon Bank is how you get your Pokemon to your Switch. That's how. So right now, you can get Pokemon from Ruby and Sapphire, from your Ruby and Sapphire cartridge, all the way to Sword and Shield. well, the ones that are in Sword and Shield. The Pokemon Company announced that Pokemon Bank is going to be free starting when the eShop closes. That to me says that they're just prepping people so they can shut it down. Because by making it free, there's no obligation to keep it open. So I'm very scared of Pokemon Bank, because if that shuts down, that's going to kill so many Pokemon.
Yeah.
They might not do that, but...
I thought the only reason why they were is because there's going to be no way you could pay.
That is interesting. That is true.
But,
to me, yeah, that's a good point.
But I mean, yeah, the reality is that whether you're right on your theory or whatever, the reality is that eventually that gateway is going to go away.
Yeah. It might not be for another 5-10 years, but it is going to.
Right. Yeah, it's going to happen.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Luckily, there are, like, through modding and stuff, like, there's ways to get your Pokemon
ways.
There's even ways to get your Game Boy Pokemon to GBA. So, like...
Nintendo fans find a way.
Yes. People want their damn shinies from Pokemon Crystal.
Yeah.
And just talking about more about eShop stuff, there's, like, Pokemon Dream Radar, which is how you get the Therian forms for the genies. There's Pokemon Picross, which I could have sworn at some point got a physical release, but I guess it didn't. That was another free-to-play game. There's... like, obviously, the free-to-play Pokemon Rumble game that did get a physical. But yeah, Pokemon, if you're a Pokemon fan, you know your stuff, probably. Get your Pokemons. We've been talking about Pokemon for too long. Let's move on to more prominent, or not more prominent, but other prominent Nintendo IP. Let's start with Zelda. I'm actually just looking at the Wikipedia list of physical releases, so we'll just kind of go in order here as I see the franchise. Let's start with Zelda, though. So, of course, we have the 2 remakes, Ocarina of Time 3D and Majora's Mask 3D. These are actually pretty cheap right now. I would say like 30 to 35 for a complete copy. There is a Nintendo Select version for both of these. If these games do not get ported to the Switch, they will go up. And they are probably not getting ported to Switch.
Dude, but the insiders for the past 3 years have said they are.
Yeah, the insiders be tweaking. So here's the thing. I actually got a comment about this. I guess in one of my other 3DS videos, I said there's a chance they might port it to Switch. I don't really think so, but someone commented saying that's never going to happen. I agree. However, I do think Ocarina of Time especially will get remade at some point. Maybe not on the Switch. Yeah. Ocarina of Time will get a new release. That's not just an N64 ROM. That is going to happen. Of course, both these games are already playable on the Switch through the Switch Online, but these are the definitive versions. The 3DS versions are by far and away, despite what people want to say about Majora's Mask and the fucking skip hopping on the water. Bro, it's so much better than the original version. So, if you're a Zelda fan, here's the thing. Zelda collectors exist outside of just, I collect for 3DS. Just Zelda fans are going to want these. So these are going to go up inherently. Similar to, I mentioned this in the Wii U video with Caleb that you guys have not seen yet. Breath of the Wild is going to go up on Wii U. It doesn't matter that it's on Switch. Zelda collectors just collect. So yeah, look out for the remakes of the Zelda games. There is also Triforce Heroes, which is pretty cheap. This one I could see going either way. It's very reliant on online, so that kind of hurts it, I think, in terms of its like collector value.
I do want to make a comment on that. Like, I had made a video and I just totally scrapped it because I went on way too long. But something I had thought about was Triforce Heroes. In a way, kind of reminds me of that Four Swords game on GameCube, where you need like 4 GPAs and the game all linked up on a TV. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. That one's expensive.
I mean,
that's like $100.
That's expensive, right? That's what I'm saying. So it's like, I mean, I kind of could see it being a repeat of that, but you're definitely right. This is like, I mean, that game's also dependent on multiplayer, but this game feels even more almost.
Because that one on GameCube it didn't have online, whereas this, I mean, you can still play Triforce Heroes locally if you have 3 3DSs around, which I guess, that would again make it even more like that. So I see this one 50-50. It's pretty cheap right now. I think you can get it for like $20. Underrated Zelda game. I don't know if you've played it, but I actually really liked it. People always put it at like the bottom of their lists. They don't know what they're talking about. It's honestly a really, if you aren't going into it expecting a single player game, it's honestly a really good Zelda game in my opinion.
I enjoyed my time with it. I don't know if I ever finished it, but I do remember I played quite a bit of it.
Yeah. Now there are 2 more Zelda games we need to cover here. The main new Zelda game we got on the 3DS was A Link Between Worlds. This game will come to another platform in the future, not Switch, maybe not even Switch 2. Eventually, it will come to something else. Not for a long time. Right now, it's like 35, I think, 40.
Mm.
It's one of the best 2D Zelda games. It's locked to the 3DS right now. It's not on Wii U Virtual Console. It's not on, it's nowhere else. This is the only way to play. This is the only Zelda game on 3DS that's actually exclusive to 3DS. So out of all of them, this one has the highest chance of going up. I think so. What do you think, Ty?
I mean, like, I agree that in the sense that it'll probably make its way to another platform eventually. It's a sequel. I'm not too well versed in a lot of Zelda stuff. It's a sequel, though, isn't it?
Yes, it is a sequel. It does use the same map as a Link to the Past, but it is a new game.
I was thinking about this game recently and how that maybe down the line we'll see a remake of both games, like in a new art style.
That'd be cool.
Like Link's Awakening. Like, and it just like mashes it all up. I mean, that's kind of a dream, but I feel like it's possible given a couple. Yeah, right. But I feel like it's a thing that could maybe be done down the line or something. But yeah, I agree that it'll find its way eventually. I mean, almost all Zelda games do.
Yeah. So maybe right now it might go up a little bit, but then like we said, it's going to get ported to something eventually. I don't think so on Switch, but maybe like the next console or something. And then one final Zelda game, unless I'm forgetting something, is Hyrule Warriors Legends. This game's fine. It's not. Don't worry about Hyrule Warriors Legends. It's on Wii U. It's on Switch. The Switch version might go up because it is the definitive version, but I don't think the Hyrule Warriors Legends on 3DS will be affected much.
I think the Switch version already has gone up.
It's over 60.
It's stopped printed. Yeah.
Yeah. So that covers Zelda. I'm just looking, like I said, through the years. A couple random ones. Star Fox 64 3D. I feel like they've basically remade this game on fucking every platform. Star Fox Zero basically is 64.
We're just waiting on Switch.
Yeah. I do think we are going to get a Star Fox game on Switch. Probably sooner than people think.
Probably.
Because we're running out of franchises that haven't been covered yet. But Star Fox 64, obviously, it is simply a Nintendo 64 game, meaning it's on Wii U. I think it's on Switch Online. So, hard to say. I think it's like, what? Is it like $30 right now? Something like that?
I don't know. I've seen people listing it. I've been trying to maybe get a copy because I've played it. I never owned it. It's fun. It's a good remake of it. But I've seen people listing it for like 60. I don't know the sold prices though, but I don't see it cheap. Like, I see it at least at or above MSRP.
Yeah, and we should say historically, Star Fox games actually do go up in value quite a bit. Star Fox Zero is pretty cheap right now, but like the GameCube Star Fox games they're up there, 70 plus. So Star Fox 64 3D, keep an eye out on it. I'm not too positive how that's gonna fare. Next up we have Super Mario 3D Land, and I guess we'll just tie in Mario Kart 7 here. You're good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Maybe 3D Land because it's a 3D Mario, and evidently Nintendo thinks it doesn't exist because it in Galaxy 2 got shafted from that 3D All-Stars.
Yeah.
Another one, I could maybe see this though coming to another console at some point.
3D Land?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I mean, there are
Not
parts
soon,
that like,
but
I just feel like there are parts that really make use of the 3D.
Is
the thing.
My counterpoint to that is they made a 3DS game and put it on Wii U, and it's called 3D World. So
yeah,
obviously 3D Land leans more into it, but
right. I mean, 3D Land, I feel, took more of the part of it being like the 3D in the title meant the actual vision, and 3D World was like it's a 2D Mario game, but
in 3D.
3D.
That's fair. Right now this game's like $10 to $15. Same with Mario Kart 7. Mario Kart 7 is my personal favorite Mario Kart, even though obviously 8 Deluxe is effectively. Yeah, I love Mario Kart 7. That's what I grew up with. But it's also super cheap, so I wouldn't really worry about this. I mean, it might go up a little bit, but not to the extent that core collectors are going to worry about here. And then finally, I think this actually was a Japan release date, but it came out later in North America. Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask. And we can just go in and tackle Professor Layton as a whole right now. God damn.
Yeah.
So Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask, this is the only one I own. This one actually is not that crazy. It's like 40 to 50, which isn't bad. 50. But then you get to Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy, which is, what would you say, 120 to 150?
Yeah, it's probably as much as, I don't know if you mind me segueing to the other two Professor Layton.
Yeah, no, let's just talk about all the Professor Layton stuff right now.
Yeah, I mean, the other one, Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton. They're both probably about like 150.
150
I think.
to 200 in that range. Yeah, they are very expensive. If you see a good price on these, definitely pick them up. I want to get Azran Legacy. I'm not as interested in Phoenix Wright as most people are. I think Phoenix Wright is probably the preferred of these two franchises, generally, from what I've seen. I like Professor Layton, though. So I definitely want to get Azure and Legacy, but yeah, these games are very expensive. They are Nintendo published. I think, did Nintendo publish Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton?
Well, I know a certain company's name is on there called Level 5.
Yes. We will get to Level 5.
Yeah. But I'm not sure if Nintendo published.
I know they did the regular Professor Layton games. I'm just not sure if they did the Phoenix Wright crossover game. And then we're moving into 2012. So a couple random ones. This is one I actually ordered. I think it might be arriving today, actually. Spirit Camera: The Cursed Memoir. I don't know anything about this game. It's like a weird AR game. It came with some AR cards. This is published by Nintendo, so I wanted to mention it. It's like 30 to 40 right now. Just a random game. Mario and Sonic. No.
Isn't there another Professor Layton game? Isn't there like one where it's like
you're right. There is.
Girl?
Yeah. Layton's Mystery Journey. Sorry, let's go back to Professor Layton. This was ported to Switch, however. I think the Switch version might be more expensive actually. This is like an earlier Switch game. They gave it like the deluxe title. It's like 50 on 3DS right now. This is like a 2017, 2018 3DS game. So yeah, that good call. I forgot about that one. I think most people did. Professor Layton isn't in it. I think it's his daughter. I'm pretty sure is the.
Oh, okay. I have no clue. I just remember I saw it on Mercari.
You're absolutely right. But yeah, like I said, Spirit Camera, random one, and then Mario and Sonic. So there's Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympics, and then 2016 Rio Olympics. 2012 is super cheap. 2016, similar to the Wii U one, is a little bit more expensive. Obviously, the Wii U one's like 70 plus. For 3DS, I think it's like 30 to 40. So these games, no one really cares. So I don't think that
they're not getting ported though.
They are definitely not getting ported though. And right back to back, we have two major talking points here. First up, this one's a little bit shorter. Kid Icarus Uprising.
Oh yeah.
This game fucking evidently is never getting ported. It should have been ported to the damn Wii U back in 2013, 2014. I don't know why they didn't do that. I don't know why it hasn't come to Switch. Sakurai is making a new game. Please, Sakurai, grace us with a new Kid Icarus. This is one of the 3DS's best games. It's Ice Climber. Yeah, he's bringing Ice Climber back. Kid Icarus Uprising is one of the 3DS's best games. I think you ask most people that have played this game, they would say, yeah, it's like top 5 at least. It is a on-rail shooter with some on-ground stuff. There is multiplayer. There are still people playing that multiplayer, evidently, although it does fill with bots, so like it's a little skewed. But yeah, Kid Icarus Uprising is one of the 3DS's best games. There is, worth noting, a big box version of it that came with the AR cards and a stand. That one fetches a more expensive price, but even just for like just the cartridge, you're looking at 60 to 70 plus right now, and that is, I want to say, almost double what it was a month ago. This game has gone up a lot because people recognize like, okay, this is one of the 3DS's best exclusives. It hasn't been ported yet. It's unlikely it will get ported at this point. Let's buy this one now. So yeah, this one's gone up in price quite a bit.
When you mentioned Sakurai's working on another game, I mean, it literally could be anything. Maybe Nintendo really is hiring him to. Maybe it's not even Nintendo. I don't actually know if.
True, he's a contractor. He doesn't. Yeah. People seem to misunderstand that. He does not work for.
Yeah. But maybe he is reviving another series and then just for Nintendo to abandon it. But if it is a sequel to that game and that game doesn't get a port, oh my god, this game's price is going to go through the roof.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, if they do a sequel to Kid Icarus Uprising and this doesn't get ported, this could end up being one of the most expensive 3DS games, especially that big box version. And fun aside, the AR cards for this game, dude, I would love to have a full set of these. There's like 500 of them. Nintendo, dude, they went hard on the AR cards. So the people that do Nintendo Minute, Kit and Krista, they recently left Nintendo and they have a podcast now, and they were showing off. They have like the full set. They both got them like on like their little press tour. There's like 400 of them, and
for Icarus?
Yes, for Kid Icarus Uprising, there's like over 400 AR cards. This thing, there's only one list that I saw on eBay for like, I think it was like $10,000 or something ridiculous, dude. I would love to have a full set of these because they're super cool. It's kind of like Amiibo cards before Amiibo cards. And yeah, so if you ever see some Kid Icarus Uprising AR cards, maybe buy them at a garage sale.
I thought there was like only 10 and they all came with the same 10.
No, dude, I think the way that even Kit and Krista in their podcast didn't really know how they distributed them, because I know I think at one point they had them on Club Nintendo. You got a pack, I think like a pre-order bonus at GameStop, dude. It was just super limited. Kind of reminds me of the Pokemon Rebel U figures, where like dude, no one was able to get them.
This is blowing my mind. I did not know that.
There was a full set of Kid Icarus trading cards, essentially, that no one has, and it's amazing. So yeah, go check out Kit and Krista. They have a video where they show it off and talk about it more. I think that's super interesting. That's a really cool piece of 3DS like merch. So go check that out. Now, I played. It's time to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Not the one you're thinking of. I don't think you're thinking of the one that starts with a Y. I'm thinking of the one that starts with an F, being Fire Emblem.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, let's get into this. So there is technically 4 Fire Emblem games on the Nintendo 3DS. They are all already expensive. One of them is extremely expensive, but let's just go in release order. So Fire Emblem Awakening came out 2013 in North America. The game that saved the series, and right now it goes for like 40 to 50 in that range. It's not too bad yet. And I will say, talking about all of these Fire Emblem games except for Echoes, so Awakening and Fates, I think these games will get ported at some point. Maybe not on Switch, but at some point, I think eventually, because Fire Emblem is so big, that Nintendo is going to see this and be like, okay, let's do this. Maybe not Fates with all 3 versions, which we'll get to, but Awakening, especially it being the game that saved the entire series, I would not be surprised if they just remake Fates, or Awakening, sorry, at some point.
Yeah. Because
Awakening is it's not the best in the game in the series, but it is the game that saved the series. Fire Emblem Fates, however, had a special edition released. Well, let me back up. So Nintendo on their Pokemon BS was like, let's make 2 versions of Fire Emblem Fates. So you have Pokemon, Fire Emblem Conquest, and Fire Emblem Birthright. But they did a special 3rd version, like they had their yellow version, and it was digital only, unless you bought the special edition back then, which was already hard to find in 2015 when this came out, or 2016, sorry. So this this entire 3rd Fire Emblem game, I think it has like 18 chapters exclusive to it, it's going to be erased when this eShop closes, unless you have that cartridge that has all 3 versions on it from the special edition. Now, I believe it retailed for $100. I remember trying so hard to get it back then, but even back then, it was hard to get.
It was impossible.
Yeah,
it was.
I went to Best Buy it was like the next day after they announced it, and I just could not get it. GameStop was out, so hard to get back then. Even harder to get now. So me and you both kind of splurged and bought this right when this happened, and I think I'm glad we did, because we both got.
I'm definitely glad we did.
Yeah, you got a sealed copy. I paid a little bit more for a used copy. Let's just say it's doubled in price since we bought it. It's going for like.
It's probably tripled for mine.
Yeah, I will say, funny enough, earlier I did see a listed copy for $800 for a sealed copy. You saw that one.
I did see that.
And I was like, damn, that's going to sell fast. So for a sealed copy of Fire Emblem Fate Special Edition, you're looking $1,000 to $1,300, I would say.
Yeah,
this is the most expensive, like, desirable 3DS game, I will say. I will get to the one that is more expensive than that. And then for a used copy, it's like $600 to $800. Even just the cartridge by itself sells for $500, which is ridiculous. So if you're a Fire Emblem fan, if you like Fates, if you never played Fire Emblem Fates Revelation, the DLC path, maybe don't buy this. I can't really recommend buying Fire Emblem Fates Special Edition, but at least get it digitally. And worth noting, I don't know if you remember this, or if you know this, Ty, there was a lot of paid DLC that was not on the cartridge also, even for the special edition. So maybe I might be going back and kind of buying some of that. I think there's a season pass.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's a season pass, and I would like to add on, like, unless you're like a crazy Fire Emblem fan, or just a crazy Nintendo fan with a very big wallet.
That's me. Or a very big credit card limit.
That's not me.
That's not me.
Yeah, I would say I think it's the best path of the game by far.
Oh, you played it. I never actually played Revelation.
Yeah, I played all 3. I think Revelation's the best one. I think it has the most care put into it. I think it's actually supposed to be the canon one too.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, Fire Emblem Fate Special Edition. That's the obvious one. I did a pickups video where I showed it off. If you want to go back and watch that little plug here. Ty Plate also did one, so go check out Ty. I'll have his channel link down below, of course. But then keeping in the theme of Fire Emblem, there is also Fire Emblem Echo Shadows of Valentia. This is my favorite Fire Emblem game on the 3DS. It is a remake of, I think, Fire Emblem 2, I believe, Fire Emblem Gaiden.
Yeah, Gaiden, I'm pretty sure.
This one right now...
bad if we're wrong.
Yeah, people are going to be angry. This one, it goes for like 40 by itself. There is a special edition, just a regular, like has an art book, that kind of thing. That's like 150 right now. I got it last year for 100. So keep that in mind. But yeah, Fire Emblem Echoes. Weirdly, here's the thing. Obviously, Fates is always going to be the most expensive now because of that special edition. I think Echoes will be more expensive than Awakening, though. I also assume it sold less, too, because it was a 2017 3DS release.
Yeah, I don't think it sold too well, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of going back, it's worth noting that Awakening and Echoes also all have DLC, I'm pretty sure.
Echoes' season pass was more expensive than the game. I remember being so angry. It was like I remember being so. I made a video on it back then in like 2017. I was like, it was $45.
It was
ridiculous. They were scheming with that Fire Emblem DLC back in the day.
Maybe wait until the last minute for this one in case Nintendo decides to. Probably not, but just in case they decide to do some last minute eShop sale.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there is one final Fire Emblem game on the 3DS. Of course, Fire Emblem Warriors. Now, this is a good segue into another little mini discussion here. New 3DS exclusives. There are only 4 of them in North America. I don't think there's any anywhere else either. So there's Fire Emblem Warriors, which is super cheap right now. It's like $15, $20. There is Minecraft for the new Nintendo 3DS. That one's like also the same price. There is Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, which out of all of these, I think has the most chance of going up simply because Xenoblade is Xenoblade. And similar to Zelda, Xenoblade people buy Xenoblade's product. So that's similar. Like, I think the Wii version of Xenoblade isn't that expensive, but it's still, like $40, which makes no sense considering it's on every goddamn Nintendo platform since. So Xenoblade 3D, out of all these new 3DS exclusives, I see going up the most. And then finally, we have Rumbo for 3DS, our new 3DS exclusive. So 4.
There are really only 4?
Yes, there was more on the eShop, and they also had the SNES games were exclusives to new 3DS on the eShop. But 4 physical new 3DS games. If you want to say you have a complete collection for any console, this is the easiest one to go for because it is 4 games. Actually, that's not true. I think DSi had like two regional games. So new 3DS.
Yeah, I mean, going off of like the listings I've seen, this whole collection would probably run you like $150 at.
I'm only missing Rumbo now. It's like 30.
Yeah. So they're all about. I would say, I mean, 2 of them are 20, 2 of them are 30. So it's like 100. Like you can get them all for $100 right now. I mean, and be a great console to say I own all of it for because it's so easy. 4. It's
like I actually own a complete new 3DS collection. Then you like conveniently forget to say new 3DS.
Right. Yeah. Right. Small asterisk next to 3DS, and then it's like says new.
Yeah. Exactly. We're already over the 30-minute mark. We're gonna kind of start maybe speeding this up a little bit more. A little bit. So a couple more random games. I didn't intend on covering every single first-party Nintendo game, but we're already here, so why not? The Mario sports games, Mario Tennis Open, I don't see going up at all. Mario Golf, maybe. And then not Mario Sports Superstars, which of course also had an amiibo card set. Mario Golf, I think, is like 30 right now. And people like Mario Golf, I think, more, generally speaking, than the other ones. So maybe that one. New Super Mario Bros. 2 is safe. A couple random ones like Brain Age, I think, is already like 40. That's a weird one. Art Academy is fine. Style Savvy, there's a big niche of Style Savvy fans.
I did not know that.
So there's Style Savvy
like 2 days ago.
Yeah, so there's Style Savvy Trendsetters, which is super cheap. It's like $20. But then there's also, I think it's Style Savvy Fashion Forward, which came out in like 2017. It was a later game, maybe 2016. This one goes for like 60 already. So that's the most recent Style Savvy game. If you see that for cheap, get that one. Animal Crossing New Leaf. There's also the Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome Amiibo version. That's the one you would want to get because it's all in the cartridge. It is a Nintendo Select, unfortunately, which I don't collect personally. Animal Crossing is one of the best-selling 3DS games. I don't think that you have to worry about that.
No.
Paper Mario Sticker Star, another game that people don't like. I don't think that's a super cheap one. Fantasy Life. So this is another level 5 game Nintendo published. Ty played, you recently found out about this game. I actually played this a little bit back when it came out in 2014, I want to say, maybe 2013. This is just like a little, I don't even know, I didn't play it that much. It's like, you have like your home base, you have your little farm, almost like a Room Factory, and then you go on like dungeons and little quests. This one has gone up a lot. I think it was already expensive before this was announced. It's like 80 right now.
70, 80.
Interesting.
Is what I see.
Interesting to see, literally every level 5 game is just expensive. Keeping it moving though. On to 2013, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, safe. don't worry about it. Especially as I could see that game getting ported at some point, to be honest, because Luigi's Mansion is pretty popular. Tomodachi Life. So this one, I think, has gone down in the past 2 weeks, weirdly enough. So when they announced the eShop closure, this is one of the ones I do wanted to get because I love Tomodachi Life. It was going for like 40 to 60. I feel like I've been seeing it pop up for like 25. Is that, have you seen that?
I have actually, no, actually, now that you mention it, I have seen a couple at 30, I think. Something around there. A lot lower than, like, a common listing I was seeing as like 40, 40, 40.
Yeah.
So.
Next up, this is a major one that I think all of these will go up in value. And that's Mario and Luigi.
Oh, yeah.
These games are never coming anywhere else. This series is done, I think. I would be shocked if any of these ever come to Switch or another platform.
Yeah. It seems like they want to maybe replace that with Mario and Rabbids.
A little bit, yeah. As like
to fill in that RPG void.
Yeah. So there are 4 Mario and Luigi games on 3DS. There's Dream Team, which is currently the cheapest one. That came out in 2013. That's like, what, 25, 30, I would say.
I'd say 25, 30,
Then all 3 of these are around the same price. There's Paper Jam. Then there's the 2 remakes. They did Superstar Saga and Bowser's Inside Story. All of these are pushing 50, I would say. You can get them. You can see them pop up for like 40 at times. I got them all for under 40, luckily, right when this was happening. But if you're a Mario and Luigi fan, I think it goes without saying that, as we all know, Alpha Dream got shut down. They went bankrupt. So I don't see Nintendo really bringing the series back. I think these games are probably forever trapped with the 3DS, which means they will go up in value. Interesting to note, I didn't know this game was so expensive. The one they didn't port to 3DS, being Partners in Time, is pushing 80.
Really? I
think that is a good kind of scale for what we could expect from the rest of these Mario and Luigi games.
I think, I guess so. I didn't know that about Partners in Time. Yeah. I'd say probably the most important one, if you're gonna like target one first, would probably be Bowser's Inside Story.
It is the worst selling Mario game.
Yep. And
not counting virtual.
Pretty much, it pretty much bankrupt Alpha Dream. I mean, you could probably point it to that.
Yeah, I think it sold like less than 30,000 copies or something. I might just be pulling that number out of my ass, though, to be honest.
Yeah, probably. No.
Okay, now tie flip. Here we go. This is the one you've been waiting for. Yokai Watch. Holy
Yokai
shit.
Watch.
So if you've go watch my top 10 3DS most expensive and rare games video. This series, bro, I don't know what happened. So they literally, okay, here's Yokai Watch 1 in terms of expensiveness. High play can't see me. I'm doing that thing on my hand.
Yeah.
Here's the last one. It's just all the way up. Dude, it's just all the way up. So, Yokai Watch 1, iconic game for Five Below fans. You always could find this game at Five Below. This game's super cheap. Similar with Yokai Watch 2 being Yokai Watch 2, Fleshy Souls, and Bony Spirits. All 3 of these games are super cheap. I think, to be fair, those 2 versions of Yokai Watch 2 are starting to go up a little bit. They're pushing like 25, 30 now.
I was about to say, a common price, I mean, you can easily find it for 15, 20. That's still one, but I have seen pushing 25.
Yeah. Especially sealed, of course.
Yeah.
Then we get into the big boys. There are four Yokai Watch big boys on 3DS. The first of which, and one that I need to get right now because, dude, it's been going up more and more, is Yokai Watch 2 Psychic Specters. So, like Pokemon, they did a 3rd version. This game a few weeks ago was pushing, 70, 80. I haven't really seen it pop up recently. I feel like it's pushing 100 now.
I saw one. I saw like 2 earlier this week, like for 90, 80, 90.
Still going up. From what it was.
Yeah, it's going up. Yeah.
So yeah. Do you have Psychic Specters? I don't think you do.
I do not yet.
Yes.
Soon.
I am definitely going for the full Yokai Watch set at some point.
Yeah.
Then of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then of course we have Yokai Watch 3. And listen, for these next 3 games, I can't even give you a price because it is random. It is just completely dependent on the person that lists it because they simply don't pop up that much. I've been seeing more of Yokai Watch Blasters pop up recently.
Yeah, I've seen a
surprisingly.
I've seen an increase, and as an increase, I mean about 4 in the last 2 weeks.
Right, which is more than it used to be. If you used to go on like Mercari or eBay and go to Sold, there was like 3 in the last 6 months. So I guess these people have heard the news that they should sell these.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, that's kind of how this whole thing I thought was gonna go. Games people knew about go up immediately, and then give it a while for the unknown games.
Yeah, exactly. But Yokai Watch 3, This was a 2019 3DS game. So obviously you can kind of just assume what that means. We were both lucky enough. Well, actually, Caleb bought a copy and traded it to me. I sent him the link though. I also sent you the link.
Yeah.
So, shout out to me for finding these good deals.
Yeah,
both
shout
around.
out. So
Caleb,
humble.
Yeah, shout out to myself. Caleb, I think, got his copy, which he traded to me for some other stuff. Was I think like 80 or 90. You got it for like.
I thought it was like 85.
You got it for like 105, right?
Yeah,
this
which I think is
that's an amazing
fantastic.
deal. If you look at souls in this game, it's
sealed.
like yes, both were sealed by the way. If you look at souls for this game, it's like 250. It's literally just whatever they decide to price it, and it sells within a day. Similarly, Yokai Watch Blasters, once again, Pokemon BS, 2 versions. What is it? What are the 2 versions? I always forget.
Red Yokai Watch, Yokai Watch Blasters, Red Cat Core, and White Dog Squad.
Okay. So, which of the? I would say White Dog Squad's the more common.
Yeah,
right?
It seems like that at the moment. I mean, it's honestly so. I mean, I've seen more listings for White Dog Squad. However, a lot of them are cartridge only.
Dude, what is it with this game and cartridge only? I swear to God.
I don't know.
There's so many cartridge only copies of this game.
I don't know. At first I thought it would be people piecing it out, but I see like no listings for the case either. So it's like, okay, it's not people piecing it out. I don't get why.
Yeah. So currently, I sent you the link for White Dog Squad. You got it for what one? Oh no, you found it. I did find a link and then I passed up on it. Sorry, my bad. I regret not buying it. You pieced it out from like some guy that had a bundle and you like asked just to buy that.
Yeah, I bought that and actually Fleshy Souls.
Yeah.
Or Bony Spirit, one of the two.
Yeah. I
got both of them for like 100 together.
Yeah. Dude, I saw a listing for White Dog Squad on Mercari one morning while I was waiting to go to work or whatever, and it was 120. And I was like, I just bought Fire Emblem Fate Special Edition. I can't do this. I regret not doing it. Similar to Yokai Watch 3, though, this is whatever people decide to price it for. I've seen them go for 250. They just don't pop up that much.
Yeah, no.
If you want to talk actual rare 3DS games, these are actually rare. These are actually limited. I cannot even begin to imagine how many copies there are. They 5. Do not. Yeah, literally. So I guess we should have said. So Yokai Watch 3 came out in 2019. I believe these ones came out, was it 2017? Or 20, it might have been 2016, actually.
I want to say you're right on 2016. I remember I looked at the back of it, and I already forgot.
Yeah, so I know it was September. I think it was 2016 because there was a 3DS Focus Direct. Weird memory. Weird how I justify all this in my mind. So yeah, not even that far into the 3DS's life. I mean, that was when it was starting to die off. But yeah, 2 versions. This is like a spin-off series of like action games, I guess. Yeah,
it's like an action RPG. It took a while to come here, I think, because they had to like change it because it's actually called Yokai Watch Busters in Japan, and there's like a ton of Ghostbuster references in it.
Oh,
they changed like, all of that.
That makes sense.
I didn't know that until recently.
That is fine. All right, well, moving on from Yokai Watch, that was probably the last like truly big series we had to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Kirby real quick. So there are a lot of Kirby games on 3DS. The cheapest of them being Kirby Triple Deluxe, which was the first one. Then you have Planet Robobot, which I think is widely considered the best Kirby game on 3DS. This one pushes 60, 70. There's one person on Mercari that keeps listening for 80. I don't know what he's doing. I was going to mention it.
I was going to mention that.
So look for a good deal on Planet Robobot. I just finished it for the first time. By the time you see this, I might have a video out on it, potentially. It's a really good, it's a damn good Kirby game. That's some damn good Kirby. But then you have 2 weirder titles. So you have Kirby Battle Royale, I forget. This is a spinoff. This one's like 20. I would even say 30 to 40.
Yeah, I'd say 30, 40 is a.
This was, I think, 2017 3DS, so obviously pretty late there. By the time by the time it came out, no one cared. And then finally in 2019, this was the last Nintendo published 3DS game. They didn't publish Persona, no. Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn. This is the most expensive Kirby game on the 3DS. Of course, a port of the Wii game. It had new content, it had new levels. I don't really know why they did this.
It's Extra Epic.
Extra Epic Yarn, yeah. I love that name. This one goes for like 75 to 80 for a sealed copy. A week or 2 ago, it was like 40. I wish I had bought that.
Wish I knew.
Yeah.
I knew.
Yeah. And then also, there are some 3DS eShop only Kirby games, which we don't really need to get into. Moving along here, Yoshi's New Island. Don't worry about that. Smash Bros. Is cheap right now. I don't really see it going anywhere. Maybe a tiny bit because it's just Smash Bros.
I would think if either of them did, it would probably be the Wii U version if it went up.
Yeah, me and Caleb talked about that in the Wii U video, which
I knew that. I'm ahead of the game.
which you guys have not seen because it's not even out yet. Because I recorded these backwards for some reason. Okay, now we can kind of get into another subcategory. We're not going to go too crazy right now, but Square Enix. So Nintendo published 2 of their games, 3 of their games, something like that. Right now we're just going to talk about Bravely Default though and Bravely Second. Here's the thing with these games. Right now, they're both pretty MSRP-ish. I think Bravely Default, the first game, goes for like 45-ish, but around that price range. And Bravely Second is the cheaper one. There are special editions for these games that fetch a higher price. I think these games are going to come to Switch. So I don't think...
Really?
Yeah, they teased it.
They
teased it back in like 2017. And with how many games this Team Asano, I believe is their name, how many games they put on Switch so far, I find it hard to believe it's not going to come to Switch. They've already done Bravely Default. They did Octopath. They did Bravely Default 2, I should have said. They just did Triangle Strategy. They have Live Alive coming out. This team is doing a lot of stuff on Switch. I think this game will come to Switch, personally.
I thought the opposite, because I just kind of felt that it would have already happened before the sequel. But
maybe,
I guess Square Enix
is weird though. They don't follow like the same Nintendo strategy of like, okay, we release a remake, then we do the new game. Square Enix just does whatever the hell they want.
Just especially recently, they've been very odd. So who knows? You know,
doing Chrono Cross instead of Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
dude, right. What? Yeah, well, so
they already did Chrono Trigger
on DS.
Yeah, hello. Do you guys not own DSs?
Oh, God, absolutely cursed. 2 games out. Moving away from Square Enix, we'll get back to the JRPGs. Don't worry. Moving out of Square Enix though, so 2 games that I didn't really know had gone up in value recently. Story of Seasons and then Story of Seasons Trio of Towns, I believe is the name. These are Harvest Moon. This is the original team that made Harvest Moon. Of course, there's a whole drama about Natsume, getting the license for it or whatever. So they had to they rebranded it Story of Seasons. This is Harvest Moon as we probably knew it as kids. These are both like 50 plus. If you like your farming games, these are probably the best ones on 3DS. I haven't played them personally. We are only in 2015. A couple of random ones. I already mentioned Xenoblade. Style Savvy Fashion Forward, that was 2015. Codename Steam, I think you and I both agree, could potentially go up. It's super cheap right now. It's like a $10 game.
Yeah, I just found my copy. I got it sealed at some like clearance out store, kind of like a Five Below. It still has the $5 sticker on it.
Yeah, exactly. So this game's super cheap right now, and it's a like tactics game, I think, by Intelligent Systems. So
yeah,
there is Fire
Emblem costumes. Yeah, I was about to say
it's not just costumes; they're full characters.
Oh, full characters. Okay,
Lucina is in the game. Martha's in the game.
Oh,
straight up.
I knew. Oh yeah, with Abraham Lincoln.
With Abraham Lincoln, of course. So yeah, that's a weird one. I don't know, but it could potentially, just for being a weird oddball game. Evidently, they printed way too many copies of it. They had definitely high expectations for it. Skipping a couple of the little ones, like Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix is an interesting one. This one has an eShop release in the US, but then in Europe it had a physical release. We're not really going to talk about imports in this video, but if you want to import something, that would be the one, I would say. Ultimate NES Remix. I don't think this one will go up too much. Because of the Wii U version. I think the Wii U version is the one that people will target. It's pretty cheap right now. Mario Luigi, you already talked about that. Yokai Watch. Okay, Dragon Quest. Let's get into this real quick. There's two North American Dragon Quest games. Dragon Quest 7 and Dragon Quest 8. I own 7. Ty played got 8 the other day. You don't have 7, do you?
No, I saw a listing for 70. I just can't justify that right now, but I'll probably get it just to get both of them.
Yeah, you damn well better justify that 85 for 8 that I sent you.
I know, right? Yeah.
I should have done it.
I'm surprised. I did. I thought you. I guess I was surprised.
So
should have done it.
Yeah. So Dragon Quest 7 is the cheaper of the two. It goes for like 70 to 80. It's gone up a little bit, but not much. Dragon Quest 8, however, skyrocketed. So I believe this was a 2018 3DS game in North America.
Yeah, it was pretty late, I want to say.
Yeah. Before this eShop thing happened, it was like 70 to 80. Now it's like 150, 200.
I wish I knew enough about Dragon Quest to understand why. I don't know.
Dragon Quest 8 is the fan favorite game in the series.
Oh, okay.
It is people's favorite game. It's a PS2 game that came to 3DS. Apparently, at that point, it's kind of like a demake, honestly. I'm not sure what kind of quality of life stuff they did. But Dragon Quest 8 is, from what I understand, people's general favorite in the entire series, which makes sense. 7, whereas 7 I think it was a PS1 game, so people were a little less like, Dragon Quest 8, however, was the one that I think most Westerners got into it with, which is why that one's going for a decent amount.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for that if you see it cheap. This list also has download games. That's when I mentioned this real quick. Another import. So they had the Box Boy series. Great little series of eShop games. Japan did get a physical version with a damn expensive amiibo bundle, I have to say. It's like $500, so don't even worry about it. don't even think about it.
I'm getting that next.
Yeah. Moving into 2016, and it's just funny seeing the decline in number of titles as Nintendo started clearly developing for the Switch. Planet Robot we talked about. Shovel Knight.
I want that so bad.
Yeah, so this one kind of similar to Yokai Watch. Definitely not that expensive. Doesn't pop up that much, but when it does pop up, it's a weird range. I was able to get a copy for actually I bought 2 copies because I got my copy for myself, and then I was like, oh, I can trade this to Caleb for Yokai Watch, and then I traded him some other stuff. I got a copy for $25 and a copy for $40. I've seen them sell for $80. So Shovel Knight is weird. I guess it was just more limited on the 3DS. I don't really know anybody that did play it on 3DS, to be honest. But that's a cool one to go for. Cold Steps Revolt. I don't know if you've heard of this game.
I've seen that listed, I feel, a couple times.
Yeah, I actually have. For video watchers. Wow. Look at this. Look at this type.
Is it this way or...
Oh, wait, you can't even see. I just realized. I have the special edition of this game sealed.
It's one of these ways, and I just reacted to it.
Yeah. So there's a special edition. This is just a weird game. There's a ton of these games in Japan. This is the only one, as far as I'm aware, that ever got localized. It was published. It's a weird. So it's NIS America, but I think it's a Nintendo IP. So both their names are on here. And both of those are obviously published. It came out 2017. It's like a card JRPG. I don't know. Maybe that won't go up. It's pretty. I got the special edition for like 50 or 60, I think. So random one. Another series we have not talked about. Jesus Christ, this is actually gonna end up being longer than the Wii U video, I think. Metroid. So there are 2 Metroid games on 3DS. I'll let you take this one, Typeblade. I'll let you do the talking.
Yeah, Metroid Samus Returns remake of Metroid 2, right? Am I not mistaken?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That right now it was a Nintendo release title under the Switch's life cycle. Like 2017.
Yeah. People were
pissed. Yeah.
People were
I remember I was kind of irritated.
I was too.
You can get like the normal one right now for about like 40, 45. Probably gone up to about 50.
Yeah.
But the special edition is not even that crazy. It's just a cardboard box and then CD. And
I am holding it up for the camera.
I think the inside of it has like a reflective like hollow foil over the game's case.
I don't know about that. I know it has a reversible cover, which makes it the Game Boy cover art. It is a very lackluster special edition.
Yeah, that's like $100 though, isn't it?
I got mine for like 85, I think. Sealed.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
It's not crazy.
Well, either way,
not really worth
it's not worth it. Yeah.
Just get the game by itself. And that one, just to say, that will go up in value a lot. Metroid games go up in value. Metroid Prime Trilogy on Wii is insane right now.
If you really want the whole Metroid 3DS experience, you're also going to have to get the Metroid Amiibo for Fusion Mode.
Oh, good luck with that. Yeah. That was like $200.
Have fun with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other one's Metroid Prime Federation Force. Everyone loves that game.
Yeah, right. This is a fan favorite right here. Listen, people shit on this game right now. It's like $30. I don't think it's gonna stay there. I think it will go up because.
No. Oh yeah, I definitely think it will.
Yeah, maybe not too much. Maybe like $60, but still, it's going to go up because obviously it's never coming to Switch.
Right, like you were just mentioning. I mean, Metroid is like Zelda and Xenoblade and Fire Emblem, where people will just buy to get it all. You know.
Yeah.
I think, and I think once Prime 4 like starts ramping up, and it's like when it eventually hopefully comes out.
If it ever does. Yeah.
If it ever does. I do at least see this game raising in its price somewhat.
Yeah.
I don't know how much, but I definitely won't stay at 30.
No, it will go up.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see here. Okay, so this is another series I haven't really talked about. Most of these games are very cheap, but the one spinoff is the exception. Of course, I'm talking about Monster Hunter. So there's 3 Ultimate, 4 Ultimate, and Generations. All 3 of those games are like $20 each. Nothing crazy. I don't really see them going up either. Monster Hunter Stories, however, is like $70 to $80. So they are, of course, if you know, there's Monster Hunter Stories 2 on the Switch. This game is on iOS, I believe, Monster Hunter Stories 1, but it never came out on Switch or anything. And it's just like a cutesy, like Pokemon, more Pokemon turn-based style Monster Hunter game.
Yeah.
I don't know how much to say on it, but it's
me neither.
It's pushing 70, 80. Hopefully it goes down some because I would like to get that one. Moving into 2017, we are getting to like the final games, and these are where the games actually start getting really interesting. Although we've actually already covered most of them through, like just talking about like the whole franchises. This is when we get to like the weird like Wii U ports. And also, I guess I can quickly mention at the end of 2016 there was Mario Maker for 3DS. You just did a video about that game. That one's not going to go up, really. I don't think.
No.
That's
the only way to share Mario Maker 1 levels.
Damn. You're right. But yeah, in 2017, of course, we were prepping for the 3D or Switch at this point. We had Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World. This one is currently retail price, I would say, $35 to $40. There is the Amiibo bundle that pushes $250. Literally earlier today, it sold for like $115 on Mercari. I was so sad that I missed that because I would have bought that in a heartbeat. Because that Amiibo alone is worth like $150 for the Poochie Amiibo.
It's cute. It's cute Amiibo.
It is a cute Amiibo. Just a weird late life Wii U port.
Super weird.
Just a random one. I wish I had come to Switch instead, to be honest.
Yeah.
Here's one that I think you bought. I still need to get this. This is a very weird new IP from Grezzo that came out in 2017. Ever Oasis.
No, I did buy it.
And they
put it up for $45. They canceled it and just relisted it.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. So Ever Oasis is just a super niche new IP from Nintendo that no one played and no one talked about because everybody's playing the Switch. It came out the same month as I think ARMS and stuff. So like
it came out the same time as Metroid Samus Returns.
Yeah. So a lot of missed potential from the 3DS this in 2017, I think. Because these games should have been on Switch. They really should. Another random one, Hey Pikmin. I don't think this will go up. The Amiibo is super expensive.
It is?
Yeah, it's like $100.
I guess that's... okay.
There was no bundle or anything, but I just wanted to talk about the Amiibo. Do you have the Amiibo?
Yeah, I have all the North American ones.
Oh, really? Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know you were on top of it. Okay, we covered everything else. I didn't talk about Mario Party. I don't think we really need to. If any of them were to go up, I would say probably top 100. But
I think all of them will I mean, most Mario Parties seem to go at least back to MSRP. Well, depending
I don't know
on
about
which ones you're looking at.
I don't know because it's handheld. Mario Party DS is like $20. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's true. I don't know. I just know the GameCube one's expensive, so I.
That's fair. Yeah, the GameCube ones are super expensive. Even even Mario Party 8 and 9 are super expensive.
Yeah.
Not much. Yeah, as I said though, not much in 2017. We already covered most of it, like Fire Emblem and Mario Sports Superstars and Pokemon, of course. Moving into 2018, once again, not much. There is Sushi Striker, another weird 3DS game that don't worry about it. It's like $10. I mean, if you want to get a Nintendo game, sure, get it. And then there was two more Nintendo published games. These are the last two we need to talk about before we move into some third-party stuff. There's WarioWare Gold and Luigi's Mansion. Of course, WarioWare Gold is a compilation game, and Luigi's Mansion is a demake of the GameCube version. Both of these are already pretty expensive. They're like, what, 60, I would say, 50 to 60.
Yeah, I'd say 60 is probably where it's starting to kind of fall between.
Yeah. I would say out of these two, WarioWare Gold is the one that would potentially break past that.
Yeah, I mean, going off of Game & Wario.
Yeah. And just in general, if either of these games were to get ported, it would be Luigi's Mansion. If they ever bring any of these back, it'd be Luigi's Mansion. So WarioWare, I think, will end up being the rarer of the two.
Yeah.
I have both of them, you know, because I'm a gamer, as they say.
I'm a gamer too. I'm a gamer and Wario.
Ha ha ha. I'll never make that joke again.
I won't.
But that is all the first-party Nintendo stuff. Tied. I almost called you Caleb. We need to get into the niche stuff because this is already over an hour long at this point.
Oh man, we haven't even touched the niche stuff.
Yes. To be fair, there's not that much. If I miss any single games, let me know. Let's cover Atlus first. This is the big one. Is the big, like, this is almost Nintendo scale.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of Shin Megami Tensei games. Help me through this. There's SMT4 Apocalypse, and I am just going to say SMT to save myself.
Yeah. I was going to say Apocalypse out of the two fours, I think that's the one you want to make sure you get. It's like 80 to 100 right now, yeah. There is a special edition for 4 base game. And I shouldn't say base game because Apocalypse is a full sequel. Oh, it is. I thought it was like...
It's not an updated game. It is a new game.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Noted.
So those are the two mainline ones. I played SMT4. It's actually one of my favorite 3DS games. I love that. I still need to play Apocalypse. Then you have the spin-off. So you have Double Survivor Overclocked and Double Survivor Overclocked 2. I don't know if you know this, Ty. These are actually all DS ports at this point. These are all DS games. So these games are on DS for around, I think it's a little bit cheaper. But the 3DS versions go for like 60 to 80 in that range, which is the case for most of these SMT games, which is interesting. Then you have Soul Hackers, which out of all of them, I think has a lot of potential right now to go up because they just announced Soul Hackers 2.
Yes.
You just got this for a really good price, I believe.
Yeah.
So,
$50.
Yeah, this one right now, once again, like 60 to 80, but
yeah,
it will probably, out of all these, it has the most chance to go up because of Soul Hackers 2 being announced.
And in typical Atlus fashion, it's on the 3DS, and the Soul Hackers 2, I don't even think it's making its way to the Switch.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking. To be fair, I believe Soul Hackers 1 was a PS1 game.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know if this has changed at all. Or...
Yeah, and then there is also, I think, the only other SMT game on 3DS is SMT Strange Journey Redux, which I believe is another PS1 game. It might have been a DS game. I don't fully remember. Like I said, though, all of these games push 80. All of these games had little soundtrack editions, which go for like 140. So keep an eye out for those. If you want to collect those, they have like a nice little cardboard box. People love their cardboard boxes. Keeping in Atlus theme, though, there's a lot more. There's the Etrian series.
Yeah, those are never getting ported.
Those are never getting ported. It's weird because I think these games were pretty popular on DS and 3DS, and now it just feels like it's just dead. The series is just dead. So there's Etrian Odyssey. Okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, isn't part of it like they were like really made with the console in mind? Or am I
don't even know,
mistaken?
Dude. I tried playing Etrian Odyssey 4. It's a first-person dungeon crawler, like Soul Hackers on 3DS, and I think Strange Journey. But you have Etrian Odyssey 4, which was the first one they released on 3DS. Then they did Etrian Odyssey Untold 1 and 2, which I believe are remakes of the first two Etrian Odyssey games. Then there's Etrian Mystery Dungeon 1, and then in Japan they got Etrian Mystery Dungeon 2. So a lot of Etrian stuff on 3DS. I'm not too familiar with the series. Just based on everything I just said, considering they remade the first two, and 4 is on 3DS, I have to assume that means 3 is probably going to go up in price a lot, based on my limited knowledge of the series.
That would, yeah.
Because it's a DS game, and it just never got ported for some reason. So, Etrian Odyssey, if you know your stuff, know your stuff. Once again, these all have like the big box soundtrack editions. I think, except for 4. I don't think Etrian Odyssey 4 has one. Another Atlus game, this is one of the most expensive ones. I actually mentioned this in my top 10 rarest 3DS games video, is Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. Another DS game. I don't think a lot of people, I don't know, I didn't realize like during the 3DS era that all Atlus was doing was porting fucking DS games.
I don't think so either. I just thought they were just cranking out new games.
Yeah, all they did was just port DS games, which is very funny.
Yeah.
This one goes for about $100. There is a fat special edition that goes for like $150 to $200. Did I miss any other Atlus games though, Ty? There's a lot.
Probably digging a couch cushion, you'd probably find 5.
Dude, there's so many on 3DS. So if we missed any of them, just let us know in the comments below. It's hard to cover simply everything. A few more random games. So limited run, similar to how they did with Wii U. They had one limited run Wii U game. There is one limited run 3DS game. I actually own this. This is the Atui collection.
Right.
So this is a collection of some eShop games like Mutant Mudds. I think it has Super Challenge on there. Chicken Wiggle. Bomb Monkey.
Chicken Wiggle?
Chicken Wiggle.
Dude.
This one's actually pretty cheap. You can get
that.
You can get the special edition, I think, for under $100 because they did like the single game and then they did a big box. You can get it for like $100, I believe. It might even be cheaper than that. So I don't really see this going up because all these games are on Switch, except for maybe Bomb Monkey. So
is the Atui collection on Switch?
No.
Okay.
And interesting to know, I'm not sure. I'm sure there has to be an example of this somewhere else. You cannot buy a 2A collection digitally either on 3DS. This is the only way to get this like collection of games,
like all of them together.
Yeah. So kind of interesting there. I'm sure there's other examples of that for 3DS games, but it's just something a little interesting about it. See, that's the only limited run game. I don't think there's any other like by other companies that did like specific.
I don't think so. I'm sure there's probably some random. And I bet in a couple of years, someone will probably be making a 3DS game.
if Nintendo allows it.
Yeah.
More random singular titles. A big one that people talk about is Rhythm Thief and the Emperor's Treasure. This is a rhythm game published by SEGA back in 2012. This game pushes $250. I don't know much about it. Apparently, it's like one of the best rhythm games ever made, though. And because it's a rhythm game, you can't really emulate it that properly. So people actually want to have it. And then, do you have any other random single games? I think you picked up Metal Gear Solid, right?
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3D. Metal Gear Solid 3D is like I just genuinely think that it's so slept on right now. I mean, it's already pretty expensive, like 80,
80 to
probably.
100,
Yeah.
I would say.
I don't know. I think give it more time. It's so unique. There's also another 3D game by Konami, Frogger 3D. That one's
Oh yeah,
actually also pretty expensive. It's like 50.
yeah, it's pushing. It's getting up there. And someone commented on my video. I didn't know this. Apparently, that game never released on the eShop. Also, so the only way to
Yeah,
get it
that's
is the physical version.
Metal Gear Solid 3D. I think it was on the eShop, but it's been taken off.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Looking at my pile of 3DS games, I actually don't own this, but I have the case. Cave Story 3D.
Oh
This
yeah,
one is over 100 as well. There is a version that has a lenticular cover. That one goes for way more. That's one to look out for. Also looking at my pile, I forgot to mention this one. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. This one goes for another 130.
20.
I got it for like 70, I think. I was like, I can't pass this up. Is there any other
Project Cross Zone?
project? Yeah, you want to talk about Project Cross Zone?
The project, this game, like, I mean, early in the video touched on it, that like games that people like knew about, like, were the first to go up. Project Cross Zone, or if you don't know what we're talking about, Project X Zone, 1 and 2, they like just a few weeks ago together, you probably get them for like 75, like 100. Now the sequel is like 100 to like 90, like 80 to $100. They're great games. They're a giant crossover between Capcom, Namco, and Sega, right? I believe.
There's also Fire Emblem characters and two.
Yeah,
right?
and in the sequel, also has Fire Emblem characters and one Xenoblade character.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that one. Interesting.
Yeah, so the sequel, I mean, it's a sequel. It definitely got less printing. Both are not on the eShop anymore. The sequel, if you're going to go for one now, get the sequel because it has Nintendo characters in it.
Yeah. That'll do it.
Yeah.
Any other games we're forgetting? I'm sure we are, obviously.
Yeah.
But we haven't talked about the most expensive 3DS game.
Oh yeah.
So just for the sake of making this video all inclusive, we have to talk about the most expensive 3DS game. This is the rarest 3DS game. There's no there's no data on how many copies there are, but this is Barbie Gloom and Glam Pups on the 3DS. A copy popped up on eBay the other day. Huh?
I thought we were about to talk about Pilot Wings Resort.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Pilot Wings Resort goes for like $15, most expensive 3DS.
Yeah.
No, Barbie Gloom and Glam Pups is like it popped up on eBay the other day again for $2,000.
Yeah.
Specifically, we're talking about, of course, I should have said this at the top. I forgot to do this in the Wii video also. We're talking about North American prices. There are, like, German copies of this game that go for, like, 500, which would already make it one of the most expensive 3DS games anyway. But yeah, a North American copy of Barbie Gloom and Glam Pups on the damn 3DS is the rarest 3DS game in terms of price. They don't pop up, and when they do, they pop up for thousands of dollars, which is ridiculous. Obviously, no one in their right mind is going to pay that kind of money unless you're simply rich and you want that tie. You just see him holding up a copy of it. You start pulling it up.
Man.
That copy that was $2,000. You're like, you're selling that amiibo collection to fund your
right. Yeah,
Barbie
it would probably cover it. It
probably would. There's a lot of amiibo. I'm trying to think. I'm just looking at my pile if I can remember anything else. I got Yokai Watch 3 here. Tomodachi Life, mentioned that. Theater Rhythm, Final Fantasy. I don't really see going up, but maybe.
Rayman 3D.
Of course, Rayman 3D, the best 3DS launch title.
Mm-hmm. I guess I don't. I personally don't have anything I can think of.
Yeah.
Oh no! Wait, there was one Alice game we didn't talk about. Two actually. Persona Q 1 and 2.
Oh, great! Thank you. Yes, of course. These are some of the most expensive games. Thank you.
Yeah. The special edition for Q2 especially it has a big range. It's like 200, 300, 400.
Yeah, it's weird. And it doesn't pop up often. This was one of the last, if not the last.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure
Chewy Collection came out in 2020. But
yeah, if you don't
retail,
count, like limited around, retail, I think this is the last. Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah. So yeah, look out for Persona Q and Persona Q2. Atlus doing their Atlus weird shit with SEGA. Probably never coming to anything else. We'll see. Maybe it will in 20 years. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think that is about going to do it. Ty, do you have any final closing thoughts?
Get them now before like it's bad now. It'll be bad. It'll be worse approaching and after the closure.
Dude, the week before it closes is gonna be so bad because everybody online is gonna be talking about it. So there's gonna be this bubble created. Don't buy the week before it closes. Buy
do
now.
Not buy the week.
Even buy a year after it closes. Do not buy the week during. Do not buy that entire month because they are going to be so spiked. Is it next March and they're closing?
Next year.
So
I think it might be a year to the day we're recording it.
Yeah, it's March 15th. It's something like that. So yeah, buy now.
Yeah.
Really, you should have bought 2 years ago, but that's fine.
Yeah.
We can't travel back in time. So
no. Yeah, I mean, a year after, some games might be worth more than they are now, but yeah, during that week before it closes, it is going to be like the peak for like pretty much all of these games.
Yeah. With all that said, this is longer than I expected it to be. Ty, where can people follow you online?
People can follow me on Twitter and Twitch at TyPlayed, and on YouTube at TyPlayed, or Ty Plays More, which is
I will be
my
linking
other
the
channel.
Ty Plays More channel down below.
Yeah.
I think it pertains more to the people watching this.
Yes.
He has done a lot of 3DS videos as well, so go check those out. Pretty good videos.
That one has more content on it frequently.
Yes. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Talks Media. Subscribe here for more 3DS and Wii U stuff and general Nintendo stuff. Once again, really appreciate the support recently. We're at 1,100 subs right now. Hopefully by the time this actually gets posted, hopefully it's past that considerably. We'll see. This is going to be posted in like a week from now, so don't even worry about it. This is past us talking. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye.